This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Carter and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, September 21st, as we head from summer to fall, or autumn if you want to be more technical, in 1985, a big match happened. It was Michael Spinks and Larry Holmes in a big match. Michael Spinks was the brother of Leon Spinks, who shocked Muhammad Ali to win the heavyweight title in 1978, but then lost it to Ali. But Michael Spinks had an interesting career. Spinks was the light heavyweight champion in 1984, and then in 1985, he decided to KO David Sears and Jim McDonald, both by knockout out. So he decided to challenge Larry Holmes for the IBF and lineal heavyweight championship. Now, if you don't know what the lineal heavyweight championship is that basically from the first heavyweight champion, if you beat that guy, you get the belt. You get kind of the linear belt and all that. Larry Holmes had the linear belt after taking care of Ali or something like that. It was a big fight. Holmes versus Spinks. Michael Spinks went up in class to be the heavyweight champion. Holmes was 48-0. He was aiming to be 49-0, which would tie the great Rocky Marciano's record. However, the match would be a little controversial in a sense. It was a narrow 15-round unanimous decision. So he was the first ever world light heavyweight champion to be the heavyweight champion. Obviously, he couldn't be both. So he got rid of his light heavyweight belt. His victory over Holmes was named Upset of the Year. Obviously, Larry Holmes was 48 and donut. So Michael Spinks joined his brother Leon to become the first pair of brothers to be world heavyweight champions. 2 decades later, the Klitschko's, Vladimir and Vitali were there. So Spinks and Holmes decided to fight a rematch the next year, and nearly the same result. But Spinks won by split decision. He would retain the World Heavyweight Championship over Stefan Degstad. However, the IBF stripped him of the belt for refusing to fight Tony Tucker, the mandatory challenger, because Spinks accepted a higher offer to fight Jerry Cooney. Spinks would KO Cooney in 5 rounds. And after Mike Tyson unified the heavyweight belts, fans clamored for a fight between Spinks and Tyson to be the lineal champion. So it happened, June 1988. Tyson would show no mercy and would knock down Spinks twice. In fact, the only fighter other than Tyson to floor Spinks was Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Anyway, Spinks suffered his first defeat after 31 losses. He decided to retire following the fight, and he had fear in his eyes. So he ended up 31-1 with 21 KOs as a pro. He was named the 3rd greatest light heavyweight of all time by the Ring magazine, behind Ezra Charles and Archie Moore. So he was pretty good. Michael Spinks shocked a lot of people. So now he really wanted to go all the way. So Larry Holmes was an icon. He beat Ken Norton for the WBC belt June of 1978 by split decision. So anyway, Holmes had great matches. He had to face Ernie Shavers and took him out in the 11th round. He would defend his title against Muhammad Ali October 1980 at Caesar's Palace. Ali decided to come out of retirement. Bad move. Holmes dominated Ali. And all that. Yeah. Anyway. Holmes looked good being the heavyweight champion. But Trevor Burbank would actually force him to go the distance in his match in 1981. Holmes would KO Leon Spinks in 3 rounds in June of '81, and then in November he beat Ronaldo Snipes. Holmes would face Jerry Cooney June of 1982 in a much publicized fight. Cooney was typed as the Great White Hope because they didn't want a black man winning the title. It had a lot of racial overtones. So anyway, it was kind of controversial because Cooney was put on the cover of Sports Illustrated in Time and not Larry Holmes. Ronald Reagan had a phone installed in Cooney's dressing room so that he could call him if he won the fight. But no, nothing for Holmes. And boxing tradition dictates that the champion be introduced second of the two fighters, but Cooney was made second. Cooney basically was taken out. All that. So Holmes looked pretty good. Holmes versus Spinks for his 20th world title defense. Holmes was trying to go 49-0. And it was amazing. Larry Holmes lost. He tried to fight Spinks for a rematch, but he failed. Holmes tried to win the battle with Spinks again in the rematch, but then he decided to retire and had a few comebacks. He would face Mike Tyson in January 1988. Holmes was knocked out in the 4th round, but he would still retire for his thing. He even fought Oliver McCall for the WBC title. So it was kind of strange how he would fight in the 1990s. All that. He ended up being 69-6. All right. So Larry Holmes had a very better career than Michael Spinks, and you can take that to the bank. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.